Hey everybody. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be here. I'm popping on to my own Facebook page at Kara Massey Design just a couple of minutes early before it's my segment time for the spring craft-a-thon. And I want to just take a quick minute to say a huge thank you to Melanie at Southern Crushed Home for involving me and asking me to be part of this. I'm just really, really thrilled and honored and really humbled that you asked me to participate. So if you were with me in the Christmas Craft-a-thon, I didn't get to go live. I'd had surgery the day before, and so I had submitted some pre-recorded video, and I'm just thrilled to be able to be live with you guys today. So let's get to it. My project today is a pink peony and rose spring wreath. So I'll drop a couple pictures in, or you can find some of the finished project on my Facebook page. It's a little project that I took with me on television here in Kansas City this week, and talking about how to get your front door ready for spring. I took that in a spring basket, and I'm just thrilled to show you guys how I made that pink peony spring wreath. So I cannot wait to get started. Let's get right into it. First and foremost, I wanted to share with you the floral design tools that I'll be using today. So let me just pull them over here in camera view, because they'll be kind of outside the view when we get started. But first of all, I have my glue pot right here. It is just a tiny little electric skillet, a little 6-inch electric skillet, and I put all of my glue melts in them. Let me show you what those look like. They come in a bag like this called Oasis Hot Glue Melts. It is my top tip for wreath making. I learned that from my mama, who was a professional florist, and she taught me that trick. It's a trick of the trade. And then I'm also going to be using my snips today, wire cutters, and some floral wire. This is a 22 gauge floral wire, and then my best fabric scissors, my handy dandy no fail Fiskars orange fabric scissors. And I don't know about you guys, but I put fabric only on them, because my kiddos will snag them and try to cut paper and all kinds of other stuff. So that's my main floral tools. If you want to know where I got those, I did put a link in my title today, so you could get right out to my Amazon shop and you could find any of those things if you need them for your own crafting kit at home. And here are the floral elements that we're going to be using. We're starting off with an 18-inch grapevine wreath. I put a couple of things on there just to get us started today so we could save a little time, but we're going to use an 18-inch grapevine wreath. We're going to use eucalyptus. I've already pre-cut it, again, just so I can move quickly this morning and just give you guys some inspiration, knowing that you can come back and watch it on your own time if you need to see it again. Then we have 2 floral bushes that we cut up. So there's this pink peony, which is my favorite flower. I've got a whole story behind it, but it's my favorite flower. Reminds me of my sweet mama. And then pink roses. Okay, oh my gosh, I'm having so much fun just seeing where all of you guys are coming from. I want to see if I can pull this up on my iPad as well, so I can maybe answer some questions if you have them. But we've got peonies, we have roses, we also have lamb's ear, which just is really pretty in the spring. And then we are going to finish it off today with a buffalo check bow, okay? Oh, thank you for the sprinkling. Thank you guys. That's a huge blessing to me and all of the presenters that are in here today. Every time you sprinkle, which is the Facebook code word for share, because they don't like us to use that word, that's a giant blessing. And anytime you like anybody's page, it really means a lot to those of us that love to share inspiration with you. So I'm starting with my grapevine wreath. This is my hook at the top. A little hard to see probably, but this little guy is going to have mainly all of our floral arrangement on just this side right here. So I've already cut the blooms off of the stem, leaving roughly an inch. Cut the rest of the stem off, and you want to make sure that you use your wire cutters for those. Don't use your scissors, because you will just tear your scissors up. So make sure that you're using your wire cutters. And I want you to dip them or use your hot glue gun. I like to just dip, again, because it is a quick and effective method. So my glue pot's out of the camera angle, I know, but you're gonna see me just literally dip this in. Let me see if I can turn that just a little bit, okay? Then you can use your imagination the rest of the time. But I dip it into my glue pot, I do a little bit of swirl, and then I kind of just scrape it on the end. I always set my glue pot on a cutting board just so it protects I'm working from my dining room table this morning. And then I'm gonna insert that right into my grapevine. The great thing about hot glue and grapevine wreaths is that if you don't like where it went, you just rip it out and start over, right? Easy peasy. So I like to kind of cluster my roses, leaving about 1/2 inch to 2 inches between my two little clusters. So we're gonna do about 4 little clusters on this wreath here. Working again in a half circle angle. I hope you guys are having so much fun this morning. I think this is just the funnest and cutest event. Gets everybody in the mood for spring. I don't know what the climate is like in your area, but here in the Kansas City area, we are really, really ready for winter to move on out. Okay, so I put this peony in, and then I'm gonna snuggle this guy in right on top. That always makes me kind of happy. I've got one last rose here, and I think I'm going to make one little cluster of 3 down here. So again, I just get the little stem, dip it in, swirl it around. Thank you for dropping me all of those hearts. When you are a creative entrepreneur, those little hearts just make your heart sing, because it means that you know that somebody else is enjoying your creativity, and really there is nothing better for me. That is the thing that makes me the happiest. So once I have my florals, my blooms on my wreath, then I'm gonna come back through now and green up my wreath. If I'm doing fresh floral design, I start with the greening up. Stay tuned, I'll be doing some fresh floral design all spring. But when I'm doing wreaths like this, sometimes I like to start with the actual biggest pieces. And then I like to go back through with the greenery. I'm trying so hard here to see your questions, so give me one more second, because I want to see here if I can get, my video wasn't pulling on my iPad. I'm filming from my phone, and it's just hard to see your questions. I think a couple of you were dropping me some questions. Okay, now we're going to put our greens in. So same thing, we'll just dip, kind of scrape them across, and I want you to just snuggle those in as the bottom layer underneath your roses. Here, there, and everywhere. I always kind of like to insert at an angle. This one has a longer stem, so I'm gonna take it over here to the end so that it curves up the wreath. When I'm making a wreath, generally what I wanna think about is starting from the top and then making sure that all my foliage is kind of going in the same direction. There's so many talented ladies here today. I can't wait to watch and see what everybody else is coming up with today. So we're gonna just keep moving along. I don't like the way that looks because it's gonna show in my wreath. It'll stick out and look funky, so I'll come back in here with my cutters and trim that. Oh my gosh, now I can see your comments. Now we're cooking with gas. Sorry about that, girlfriends. Took me a minute. Technology was not being my friend this morning. Thank you to Kim said, thank you for so many tips. Kim, you're welcome. And Kim, I love your page. I want you to know that I follow your page, and I think that your decorating work is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So thank you for keeping me inspired. Now, again, although my foliage is kind of going all the same direction. What I mean is I'm not gonna really stick it that way or this way, but some of them will come up and some of them will curve down, so long as we're kind of maintaining a C shape. That's gonna give you just great flow throughout your wreath. I hope some of you will hit that Amazon page and consider picking up one of these little tiny glue pots. They're really inexpensive, and I'm not just saying that because I'm trying to sell you a glue pot. That's not why. It's just because I know for me, it is totally a game changer, particularly if you are a crafter who does a lot of wreaths in bulk. But here's the number one reason that I love using a glue pot is because, well, there's two reasons really. One is because I don't burn my fingertips. I don't know about you guys, but I must just be a hot mess express with a hot glue gun because I always burn my fingertips, and that's just not fun. So one, it helps me save my fingertips, and then secondly, it helps me work faster because every time I have to reload my glue gun, it slows me down. Then I have to wait for my glue stick to melt, right? And I like to just be able to work fast and crank some things out, especially if I'm doing a bunch of crafts at one time. Okay, so you can see now, my friends, that we're starting to just layer in with that really soft eucalyptus. Eucalyptus is really trendy right now for good reason because it's beautiful. It's been trending for a while. It's really beautiful, and it's also relatively seasonless, right? It looks as great in spring as it did when I worked it into a ton of Christmas decor. So I'm gonna put one right in here. Okay. We are halfway glued up, and this is a really quick and easy craft this morning, okay? Or I'm sorry, we are halfway greened up now. We've got our eucalyptus happening. Thank you. Thank you, Marilyn. Okay, let's see here. The flowers are so pretty. Where did they come from? You know what? If you registered for the Spring Craftathon, then I want you to be watching your email this week on Monday, no later than Monday. Tomorrow, if I get the list in time, if you registered for the Spring Craftathon, then Sweet Miss Melanie at Southern Crush at Home will be sharing your email information with me, and I will be sending out an email to you that has a link to just my craft supplies. I don't have access to anybody else's craft list, but I will definitely make sure that you get a full list with some links to my craft supplies. To answer your question, I did get these florals at Michael's, and I believe that most of them are still in stock. I checked that last night for you guys, and actually they're on sale, which is really great too. I want to show you a little something right now. My glue is starting to cool, and so it's not sticking as well. So, you know, just like if you were frying a chicken, I just turn up the I'm just turning up the heat on my glue pot so that my glue gets a little bit hotter and it will stay at a really nice melty consistency. That's the other thing that I like about glue pots instead of glue guns, and then when I'm done, I just put the lid on it and let it cool, and then I just pack it away in my craft stuff. Okay, so we've got our lamb's ear kind of going up, right? We started with the going up towards the top. Now I'm going to take this next lamb's ear. I'm sticking the stems of my greenery down under the bloom, but I want this guy to kind of go that direction. And I'm gonna just continue working around and tucking these in. There's no right or wrong here. This is not a symmetrical arrangement. It's meant to feel kind of loose and flowing and just pretty, really, really pretty. Again, I'm using an 18-inch wreath, so it would be great for a front door. You definitely could put it on a front door, but I also put it behind me right here. I actually had it hanging on a mirror on my sideboard. and it looked really pretty there too. Hi, Cindy. Cindy Hamilton is a girlfriend of mine here in the Kansas City area. We met in a coaching group, a business coaching group that we both belong to. We're both members of Jennifer Allwood's Inner Circle coaching group, and that's where I met Cindy, and she's awesome. Cindy does organizing, and she does really amazing work. Okay. Thank you. Thank you to those of you that are dropping me a so pretty message. That just really makes me very, very happy. This segment, if you're interested in watching it, the segment from this week when I was on the Better Kansas City morning show is on my Facebook page. You can find that. I posted it, I think yesterday or the day before, to share on social media. I just love my friends at Better Kansas City. They're so sweet to me. A year ago, they let me come on to share a little bit of decorating advice with their audience. And then after that, they gave me a monthly segment. I get to go back the first Tuesday of every month. And it's just really fun. It's really, really fun to be in the station and to share the things that I love with other people. All right, I'm still looking here. So if you've got any questions about this project, feel free to drop them. If I don't get them answered while I'm looking at my wreath, then please know that I'll go back through today and I will answer each one of your questions, because I am so grateful for your time and I'm so grateful that you're here with me and your questions are important to me. Okay, so we're getting there. I like my wreaths full, so I'm gonna keep on going. I'm just gonna keep tucking. I'm gonna keep tucking the lamb's ear in. While I tuck in, you guys can watch how I just kind of, again, go helter-skelter, dipping the stem, and then snuggling it down into that grapevine wreath form. How are we looking here, ladies? Here we go. Looking pretty good. Making me feel pretty good. I have a couple of wreath hanging tips for you while I've got you with me this morning. If you're using a standard sized wreath hanger, like those metal over the door wreath hangers, then it is generally about 13 inches long. And that's for a standard sized door. But if you are one of those gals that is lucky enough to have a big, grand, oversized door, then those standard size wreath hangers very likely are too short for your door. You may need to use a 3M hook or find some other way to attach your wreath to the door, because the rule of thumb is that your wreath should be roughly at eye level. So let me give you some backwards math. I'm tossing some numbers at you, right? If you're not quite sure what that means, or if you really just love to pull out a measuring tape, then measure from the bottom of your door about 57 inches up. And 57 inches up is where you want the middle of your wreath to be. That would be eye level, and that would be the perfect location for you to hang any door decor, whether that's a wreath or a spring basket or a door sign. Some of you ladies make amazing door signs. Okay, I wanted just a little bit of greenery there at the end. Perfect. I'm feeling pretty good about that. Again, this is just a half wreath right here. Okay, now I have you just for 2 more minutes. So I want to show you that I made this bow. I bet somebody on here today shows how to make a bow. I don't want to keep you past 11 o'clock. I want to make sure I'm being really respectful to the other presenters today in this Spring Craftathon. So I have pre-made this. If you have questions about how to make a bow, I have a bow making tutorial. You'll find it in my video vault on my Facebook page. I would love for you to follow me on Facebook, but I have made this bow and I have put just my floral wire through it, and I am going to come in here at the end of my greenery and I'm just going to wire it around the back so that when I hang it on my door, I can adjust my tails to where I want them to go. And that's it. That is your quick and easy 20-minute pink peony spring wreath. Again, I'm beyond blessed that you're here with me today. Thank you so much for sharing your time. Enjoy the remainder of the spring craftathon. And if you feel so inclined, please give my page a like and maybe sprinkle this video on your own page so that your friends can see it as well. Thank you, ladies. Have a lovely day, and I will talk to you soon. See you later.